Do you suck at dandysworld? Do you often die on floor 3 to 5? Do you always have a bad team that just doesn't understand how trinkets or toon rolls work? Do you just want to get to floor 20, floor 50, maybe even floor 70, or maybe even floor 100? Well, I've got some tips for you. In my video, I'll be discussing about team setups, trinket combos for specific toons, and give you examples on toons and their specific roles. Before I start, I just want to say that most of my points here are opinion-based, and if you disagree, fine by me. What are roles, you might be wondering? Roles are a toon's specific field of work and what they specialize in. For example, V. V is an extractor support toon with a 4-star skill check, 2-star movement speed and stealth, 3-star stamina, and 5 stars in extraction. With her passive ability, Camera Hijacked, she can easily track down machines and even use it to help her know when someone is on last. As for her active ability, Mic Check, she can highlight twisteds for about 5 seconds, which is great for distractors. What's a distractor, you might ask? Oh boy, this is where I'm gonna start getting comments like, distracting was never a role to begin with. Why do you need a distractor? Are you bad at the game? Listen, I understand not necessarily needing a distractor until like floor 5, but if you want to make it far, you'll need one. And don't even start with the whole distracting was never a role to begin with argument. That's so old. Things have changed, distracting is a thing now, deal with it. Anyways, on to the distractor toons. So the toons that are considered distractors are toons with at least 4 stars in movement speed and 2 to 3 stars in stealth. Toons like Tisha, Goob, Flutter, Louie, Cole, and Pebble are your go-tos. I would say Razzle and Dazzle, but because of their passive making them change their movement speed every floor, I wouldn't recommend playing as them. And if I hear Sprout can be a distractor, no, don't want to hear it. He's a healer. He's fast because he needs to wander the entire map looking for tapes and items. The best distractors in my opinion are Goob and Pebble. Goob is great due to his 4-star movement speed and stamina paired with his 2-star stealth, making him a great pick, especially since he can distract right next to someone with higher stealth without the risk of them getting hit. However, even with distractor trinkets, he can't outwalk most twisteds, leading to him getting hit and possibly compromising his team. So I consider him to be a great backup distractor, basically just a survivalist slash support until he needs to help the main distractor. His active ability, Hug, is great for toons who are having trouble getting into the elevator on time, about to get hit, or toons who are blind as hell and need help finding a machine. Louie is also great for backup, considering he needs to be on low health in order to properly distract, though that can be a hassle. Now for main distractors, I think it's appropriate that only one toon can fit this category, Pebble. Pebble is just, mwah, chef kiss. I absolutely love that he's just the perfect example as to what a distractor toon is. He's got 5 stars in movement speed, 4-star stamina, and 3-star stealth. And to make up for his 3-star stealth, his active ability, Speak, is basically just an air horn that he can use every 60 seconds. It lowers his stealth from 10 to -40, which is great if he needs to grab a twisted off of a Brightney, whose stealth is 0. And because it's basically an air horn, it also draws twisteds to a location he barks at. His passive, Fetch, is also great for multiple factors. For Pebble, he can sniff out capsules to help him get a basis on who's there for him to distract. Items such as pops or other stamp/speed items to aid him, fans and meds for healers or himself. However, he can also fit for backup distractor if there's another Pebble or a Louie who is very confident in his distracting skills. Now, if Pebble is backup, I recommend being a tape GPS for Sprouts or a band/med GPS for Cosmos and Gingers. After that, I don't think it's appropriate for Pebble to extract. Ever. Moving on from extractors and distractors, we have supports and survivalists. Support toons like Astro, Tisha, Brightney, and Shelly are very good examples of a support toon. These toons support the rest of the team with their abilities. Astros are good for refilling stamina to distractors, or for toons who need a little extra boost to get into the elevator on time. Same with Tisha. Her ability increases the toon's movement speed by 25% for about 5 seconds. Great for a little boost when you need to get into the elevator before the timer runs out. Brightney is great during blackouts and is a better pick than V since she can use her ability every 45 seconds instead of every 60 seconds, but only during blackouts. Shelly, by far my favorite support toon, can increase someone's extraction speed by a whole 75% for 15 seconds. No matter what team you have, it's always great to have Shelly there. In addition to the support toons are healers. Currently, there are only 3 healers in the game, plus 1 self-healer. Cosmo, Ginger, Sprout, and Tegan. To be honest, Tegan's only good if you're doing a solo run, especially since tapes are kind of a first come first serve in public runs. And if a Sprout is on the team team, you might as well leave the tapes for him since he can heal other people, including you. Cosmo and Ginger can heal people with their own hearts, making heals priority for them. Sprout, on the other hand, needs 100 tapes to heal. If you see a Sprout, leave the tapes and use those items for them, because I promise you, a heal is more important than those gumballs. When you're a healer, it's best to try to stay out of the way of distractors while also staying close to them. Help out on machines that aren't risky and keep an eye out on bans and meds. You really want to try your hardest not to get injured, especially as a Cosmo or Ginger, since your hearts are crucial. Also, a tip for people who want to get Sprout or are new to him, keep in mind that he has a radar. This passive ability allows him to see the health of his teammates, and depending on how broken the heart is, you'll be able to tell who's on 2 hearts and who is on 1. Now for Survivalists. Survivalists are toons that kind of have no specific role or use for them. They're kind of just there to help finish machines. Toons that are considered survivalists are Poppy, Toodles, Roger, Finn, Scraps, Tegan, Bobette, and Rudy. These toons, give or take, provide little to no aid to the overall team, other than to help finish up machines. If you don't want to be that much help, or if you're in the mood for some laid-back gameplay, I'd recommend those toons. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now that I've explained the roles and their specific functions, let's move on to trinket combos. Honestly, I will admit, trinkets can be whatever fits the player's playstyle. Just don't listen to the fandom wiki. Please. Take Gigi for example. She has a 5-star skill check and a 3-star extraction speed. So your first thought might be, well, she's like Shelly, so participation award and magnifying glass is the best combo, and then boom, you see her stamina. 1 star. 100 stamina. Well, now you're in a pickle. You want to lessen her skill check window to help speed up her extraction, but what if you're running away from Twisteds and then you're out of stamina? So you might be wondering, what am I supposed to do to help me? Well, I would suggest using magnifying glass, most definitely, and then there are 2 other options after that. You've got the water cooler, which gives you 50 extra stamina, however, it lowers your movement speed by 5%, or you could use the pink bow, which gives you a 7.5% run speed boost. There's also the pop pack, which grants you a pop every floor, and thanks to Gigi's ability, Surprise, in case you need more stamina or an extra speed boost, you can just pray you get a pop or a box of chocolates and not gumballs for the 5th time in a row. I also heard you can use the feather duster and bone trinkets, which can be activated along with the use of Gigi's ability, but that only works every 80 seconds. So that's for Gigi, an extractor. But what if you were Pebble or Goob? Maybe even Flutter and Cole? Well, I suggest 2 kinds of trinket sets to help boost your movement speed and run speed so that you can easily outwalk most, if not all, Twisteds. There's the classic Dog Plush and Speedy Shoes, which gives you a 15% walk speed and a 5% run speed boost. And after the Louie and Connie update, we have the Clown Horn and Ribbon Spool, which gives you a 10% walk and run speed boost. It's based on personal pick, to be honest. Any other trinket combo is kind of useless on them. Please, I beg of you wrench and fancy purse users to just stop. And before you come at me with, I don't like distracting, let me play as Flutter and Pebble, they're cute. Just stop. They are distractors. You don't like it, then change. I mean, seriously, you really want to sit there with Pebble's 1-star extraction speed? I mean, watching Flutter kick the machine is funny. I'll give you that. To be honest though, if you're gonna pick Flutter and Cole as your distractor go-tos, you might be better off staying as backup distractor. Since they have 3 stars in stealth, with no way to lower their stealth like Pebble can, it can be hard keeping the Twisteds on you. If you're confident in conserving your stamina, I recommend the Dog Push and the Megaphone, which grants you an air horn every odd floor, as long as you have an open slot. Speed trinkets are kind of useless on toons with 2 stars or lower in movement speed. Take V, Connie, Roger, Ginger, Scraps, and Shrimpo, for example. Bear with me, we're gonna do some math. Let's use Connie for this. Her movement speed is 1 star, or 10. If you were to give her Dog Plush, adding a 10% walk speed boost, it'll only increase her speed by 1 point. See how useless that is? But personally, I have some good trinkets for you to use to help with speed. Personally, whenever I use a 1 to 2 star movement speed toon, I like to use Pink Bow or Vanity Mirror, especially Vanity Mirror. This trinket can be a godsend if you're V or Connie and you're stuck doing a machine that's on the other side of the map. Vanity Mirror increases your run speed by a whole 30%, but only during panic mode. And trust me, you are speedy. To help Cosmo's god-awful skill check, Thinking Cap is a great pick, which increases your skill check window by 40 points, making your skill check go from this to this. You could also use Vimo with the Thinking Cap and complete machines that are in Fake or by the distractor so that they feel more comfortable distracting. Now for Ginger, since this girl has pretty good stats, you can pretty much use any trinket combo for her. Now for Sprout, just hear me out, okay? Vimo and Fancy Purse. Now wait, Fancy Purse is honestly only useful for 2 toons, and it's the toons who use tapes for their ability. And you might say, what if he has to heal on the first floor? It's a waste of a slot. Listen, Sprouts don't need to immediately heal someone so early unless it's Pebble. Sprouts should not feel obligated to heal someone who's already on 1 heart on floor 1. That's their mistake. Unless it's Pebble who's distracting and messed up a little. Fancy Purse is great to help Sprout get a head start on gathering heals, and Vimo is basically a free and guaranteed 10 tapes every floor. For just about everyone else, trinkets are kind of a free-for-all thing. Just keep in mind that most trinkets are terrible or just plain useless. The trinkets I recommend using on just about any other toon that's a survivalist, support, or extractor are Participation Award, Magnifying Glass, Pink Bow, Nightcap, Water Cooler, Vimo, Vanity Mirror, Sweet and Savory Charm, and the Toy Kit. Y'all can pause so that you can read the abilities, obviously. I think that's pretty much it for trinket combos. Now I'm going to give you tips on how to set up a good team. Alright, now that you know what roles are and how to equip the best trinkets for your toons, I'm going to break down some teams for you to guarantee you making it to at least floor 20. The best team I've seen would have to be Louie, Pebble, 3 Shellys, V, Connie, and Sprout. Let me break it down for you. Louie can be the main distractor while Pebble is backup. Pebble is also Sprout's tape GPS, so that he can easily gather up tapes. V is there to scan for twisteds, do machines closer to elevator, and a prime on later floors. Connie can do the riskier machines due to her stealth and smoke bomb ability. Sprout can Vimo on risky machines too, and the Shellys are there to boost the 3 extractors. Another great team would be 2 Pebbles, 2 Shellys, Astro, V, Ginger, and Sprout. Pebble 1 is main distractor, Pebble 2 is tape GPS, Shelly's boost, V's scans and primes, Astro is stam support and does the risky machines, Sprout and Ginger can Vimo and heal. You could swap out one of the Shellys for Tisha for emergency kiting and a speed boost for the distractors. There's also Pebble, Goob, Brightney, Astro, Shelly, Glisten, Sprout, and Ginger. I know not many of you guys have mains, and honestly that's the best I could come up with to help include people who don't have certain or any mains at all. Also, notice how I named 2 healers, but there isn't double Sprouts. That's because if there are 2 Sprouts, it costs 150 tapes to heal instead of 100, which can be a huge hassle for the rest of the team. No matter what, never have 2 Sprouts on the team. Remember that when you want to set up a team, always think about the possibilities. What if Twisted Pebble is on the floor? You'll need as much stamina as possible, and you better hope that it's on a good map where you can distract him. Now what if Goob or Scraps is on the floor too? That's also why you need backup. Your team should always have a healer too. You only get 2 med cards the whole run, and you need to be wise about using it. And when there's more people in the run, the least likely you'll see rarer items, like bands or meds. Dandy's World is a game that requires communication and teamwork, so I recommend not playing on PlayStation or Xbox unless you're on call with friends and can easily communicate with them. Even just typing in the chat with each other is difficult in Dandy's World, and that's strictly because you can't warn teammates fast enough, or you can't come up with a plan to split the twisteds, or you can't tell a healer or distractor that there's a band in a weird location that's hard to describe, all that. Which brings me to code words while you're playing with your team. In case you're unaware, Dandy's World relies on code words to help lessen your chances of death. GTE or G2E means get to elevator. It's usually said whenever you or someone else is on the last machine. EAE means everyone at elevator, which someone, normally a Sprout because they have a radar, says so that the distractor can come to elevator without getting anyone hurt. TNE means twisted near elevator, which can warn your teammates just so that they can be careful when entering the elevator. Prime/priming means you are filling up a machine and stopping it just before it finishes. You usually start doing this by like floor 5 when you start getting mains. You always want to prime a machine next or near to elevator, and this helps the distractor get in right away because everyone will usually be at the elevator before someone pops the prime. Popping the prime means you finish it, and it kind of feels like you're just popping something. I'll flash some other code words on the screen that aren't as important but would still recommend using. Alright, I think that's about everything I want to discuss with you guys. You all should be totally pro players by now. Hopefully. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have fun planning out your teams. I usually do gaming videos, but thought I could do a little informational video for once. So if you like to see more content, be sure to haunt my channel with a sub, possess that like button, and don't forget to exercise the bell so you'll be jump scared when I upload my next video. Have a spooky day!